It was cold the night of January 22nd, 2010, and witnesses say 7-year-old Patrick Alford Jr. wasn't dressed for the weather outside. He was merely throwing out the trash inside his apartment building and was supposed to head right back to his foster mother's apartment, but police say he seemingly vanished without a trace. 15 years later, he still has not been found. This cold case with Alice Gaynor. Where is Patrick Alford?
Tonight, the search is on for a missing child.
I don't know where my son is, and I don't know if he's okay.
An extensive search is underway. So far, police have come up with nothing.
You understand time's of the essence.
The search for that missing boy continues into a third month.
It's also the last place he was seen 9 years ago.
I don't think any case has gotten attention like the Patrick Alford case.
Because somebody out there knows, okay?
This is the last known route 7-year-old Patrick Alford took on the 11th floor of this apartment building in East New York, Brooklyn, back on January 22nd, 2010. It was around 9 p.m. He was supposed to throw out the trash, then turn around and come back to the apartment, next to the compactor, the elevator, and the stairwell.
Last night, police canine dogs picked up a scent that went cold.
The dog actually led them to a bus stop that was right around the corner from the building that he went missing from. And that was it. That was where they lost the scent.
Both now retired from the NYPD Missing Persons Squad. Detective David Ramirez and Lieutenant Christopher Zimmerman, who was the commanding officer, lived and breathed the case.
Patrick, if you are listening or watching this, please call 911 wherever you are.
The police response was immediate and massive.
The New York City Police Department and your community needs your help.
How many people did you interview?
Well over 8,000 people, maybe even close to over 9. Definitely knocked on over 14,000 doors. We went around to the traffic cameras, anybody who got a red light summons, receipts for gas stations where people use credit cards. Did you see Patrick? We interviewed bus drivers.
Is this a case of he literally vanished without a trace and there are just no clues left behind? Or was there anything to go on beyond the bus stop?
We went as far as interviewing over 150 registered sex offenders, and we came up with nothing on that. I mean,
there's a water treatment plant.
Water treatment plant, DEP, emergency service searched that.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was in, every asset.
The child had been living with a foster mother at the Spring Creek Towers complex, formerly known as Starrett City, at 130 Vandalia Avenue.
Police said he'd been with a foster mother for only 3 weeks, during which time he'd threatened to run away. From the time he'd arrived, the boy had wanted to go back to his biological mother.
Zimmerman says the foster mother was on the phone as Patrick threw out the trash.
I had a good vibe about her intentions for not expecting anybody. The house is immaculate. Her past history as a foster mother was incredible, never a complaint. And she meant well, and she was visibly upset that this was rocking this woman. Not that you ever turn a blind eye, you always keep your eye open a little bit, just in case something pops up, but she was pretty credible at the time.
We tried getting in touch with her multiple times.
Hello?
People who have lived in the building for decades had this to say of her.
Been in my building for years, 2 nice ladies, foster kids.
I had seen him many times, not that day. His foster mom, she had other kids, and I would see her, nice lady.
These women remember the night Patrick went missing vividly.
I always wonder about him, always wonder.
They also remember another thing missing from that time period, fear.
And it was like he just disappeared, which we all thought was kind of strange.
Was there a sense of fear at all? Or?
No, there was no fear. That's why I said, it just seemed, maybe orchestrated.
Patrick's biological mother, Jennifer Rodriguez, who had been living on Staten Island at the time, handed over custody of Patrick and his younger sister.
She admits to being a drug addict. She admits to shoplifting the day after Christmas. She says she called child welfare asking for help and says that's how she lost her children. And she says that when her son told her he didn't like his new foster home, that's when her family and friends got worried.
A family court judge tossed her in jail at believing she was hiding the child, demanding she turn him over.
She took a lie detector test and passed when asked, do you know where your son is? But failed when they asked you, do you know anything about his disappearance or how he got away? How do you answer that?
I think that's bullcrap, because I don't know nothing.
Our late colleague Pablo Guzman sat down with Rodriguez early in the investigation.
You're the one that the police and the judge, everybody's focusing on.
I don't know why, and it's not fair for me, because I don't have anything to do with it. I don't have anything to hide.
CBS News New York spoke with Rodriguez again years later.
I pray that Patrick's out there somewhere. I just want my son back.
Do you know where Patrick is?
No, I do not know where my son is.
Now, 38 years old, Rodriguez spoke with us recently via Zoom.
You know, he loved action figures at that time, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtle. He loved his scooter. He had a bike. He loved the park. He loved video games. When Patrick went missing, I was 22 years old. I was very young. I had 3 children, single mother.
She says she gave up custody, fully intending to eventually get her children back.
To get the help that I need to be a better person, a better parent. Like, that's why I did it. I had no choice. I was a good mom. I mean, I had mental health issues.
She wasn't cut off from contact, though. She spoke to Patrick's foster mother.
And he was placed with a foster mother that spoke strictly Spanish. She used to tell me that he would try to run off and that he was hard to deal with.
She also spoke with her son, who couldn't communicate with his foster mother since he only spoke English.
But it was always so crushing. Like, Mommy, I want to come home, please. I love you. It just takes my breath talking about it because I could hear his little voice. He didn't understand what was going on and regretted it. I was like, what did I do?
She remembers all the heat on her after Patrick went missing.
It was the most scariest and traumatic time in my life. I was like, my son is missing and locking me up. Like, I felt so hopeless because it's like, I'm in jail, you're focusing on me, and he's out there.
What do you think happened that night when Patrick went missing?
I'm thinking, okay, maybe he did try to run off. Maybe he's like, I'm getting out of here, you know, kid being a kid. I'm thinking somebody took him. Ain't no way he's gonna just disappear. A normal person would be like, okay, let's go find your family. Patrick vanished. Vanished.
We didn't find anything that would have tied her to the disappearance.
There was a theory floating around that maybe someone, a relative, potentially took him.
There was a lot of theories.
You know, I wish it was true.
They checked on relatives out of the area and flushed out tips that came in.
Was it Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
Indiana, North Carolina, Puerto Rico, and
Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
We're here at the office of the Missing Persons Squad to get an update on where the case stands today.
We have this one full file cabinet dedicated to the Patrick Alford case.
Wow, how many files?
We have thousands of files. You have canvases, you get witness interviews, you have location images, steno books of investigators that whatever they wrote down. I always go back to these files and give it a fresh look.
The case is still an active case, and we canvass the area multiple times a year.
Have there been any potential leads in recent years?
We've gotten lots of tips that have not panned out, but we've gone to other countries where people have seen them, supposedly.
Was anything dispelled or ruled out?
No, nothing has been ruled out.
Patrick would be 22 years old now, an adult.
Do you believe he's still alive?
Have to.
And if he is out there somewhere living his life, it's still important to call police, they say.
Those resources, if he's found alive and healthy, could be elsewhere, helping another case.
Eventually, the truth's gonna come out, and somebody knows something about where he is or what happened.
For Rodriguez, she still celebrates Patrick's birthday every year.
And I love you. If there's any way out there for you to find a way home safely, to come home, we never gave up on you. We pray about you every single day.
Crime Stoppers is offering a $13,000 reward. If you know anything, call the number on your screen. Alice Gaynor, CBS News, New York.
And his biological parents won a $6 million settlement after they filed a federal lawsuit against city agencies involved in the case. It's been put in a trust for Patrick if he returns home. Police also say Patrick's biological father cooperated with the investigation. He recently passed away.